WWE really do this with CM Punk? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is and why I actually think it's going to happen. Because CM Punk, since returning to WWE in November of 2023, well, he's been active, quite active. And it's not even all in the ring. In fact, he's only worked a handful of matches since returning. It's been active on television and getting people to talk. And that's actually what CM Punk does the best. In all reality, if you think about it, that's what you want out of CM Punk. You want to see him on television cutting promos, building up to matches. None of this, we're going to put over the young guys or look how great this talent roster is. No, no, no. Here's my objective. Here's my goal. This is how I'm going to get to this goal. This is how I'm going to achieve this goal. There's a conflict. You overcome the conflict. You move on to the next goal. That's what we want out of CM Punk. And that's what WWE has been able to deliver with CM Punk since returning. He goes to the Royal Rumble in January. He almost wins it, yet he falls short to Cody Rhodes. He gets injured in the process and is forced to miss multiple months of in-ring action. In fact, he had to pull out of his originally scheduled bout with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. In addition to all the drama with The Rock, they also had to deal with CM Punk drama, but in a good way because it was due to injury. They had to go and they had to change plans. And so then you get the Drew McIntyre and obviously Seth Rollins match at WrestleMania 40, and they continue the program with Drew and Punk, and then that leads to a multiple-month feud between Drew and CM Punk, as we all know, before it wrapped up at Bad Blood with Punk going over in Hell in a Cell. He came back after a little bit of a hiatus, teaming with Roman Reigns and the rest of the OG bloodline as a favor to Paul Heyman. And now he has reignited his feud with Seth Rollins. And they are going to meet January 6th, Raw on Netflix debut. There was a recent report that I want to talk about, because this is the point of this video. So WrestleVotes had reported on a Backstage Pass Q&A that WWE wants Punk at a world title match at WrestleMania 41. While most of us have expected that Roman Reigns would take on Solo Sikoa at WrestleMania 41. Well, things may be changing because The Rock, he's not currently playing for the show. We're already going to get Roman versus Solo on January 6th, right? And then Fightful Select reports that they've heard that Punk versus Reigns at next year's WrestleMania has been heavily discussed. It was said we've heard a number of weeks ago that this wasn't particularly the plan, but it had been adjusted as of late. We're told CM Punk had also hoped for the match, end quote. So, think about this. Plans change all the time in wrestling, right? We've always heard that. So initially, WWE was like, okay, we're going to run it back. Punk is going to go after the world title at WrestleMania, presumably winning the Royal Rumble match. He's going to finally get his WrestleMania headliner, okay? We're going with that. And then we're either going to go with Roman versus Solo Sikoa for a second time at WrestleMania, or what I believe would be Roman versus Jacob Fatu, because The Rock isn't around, right? And then things have changed, because if you look at it on paper, is Punk going after the world title a bigger match than him versus Roman? No. Is Roman Reigns versus Solo or Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu a bigger match than him versus CM Punk? No. So if you need a big attraction, and you're not going to get The Rock coming back, you're not going to get The Rock to work Roman, you're not going to get The Rock to work Cody or anyone else on the roster for that matter. If you're not going to get that, you need a big attraction. Well, the biggest match that you can do right now, outside of a match that involves The Rock, and a match outside of doing Roman versus Cody, and I don't think many people are calling for Roman versus Cody in a babyface versus babyface dynamic, and doing it in the third straight year at a WrestleMania main event. I don't think anyone's calling for that. So, the idea of having CM Punk go against Roman Reigns is a very intriguing idea. If you lay it out even further, the idea of having a CM Punk who is a heel versus a babyface Roman Reigns is very, very intriguing. And you best believe that those promos are going to be phenomenal. You best believe that the dynamic, because Paul Heyman will be essentially the ping pong ball between the two paddles of CM Punk and Roman Reigns, of going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with promos. It's almost like a rehash of Paul Heyman a few years ago. Is he on Is he on Brock Lesnar's side, or is he on Roman Reigns' side? Is he the wise man, or is he the advocate? Which is he, right? Because obviously Punk have a lot of history. Also, what was the favor, right? Punk alluding to he was going to come and collect the favor of Paul Heyman. Okay, you want me to come back. You want me to put my differences aside. You want me to be paired with Roman Reigns. Help him out at Survivor Series War Games. Okay, well, I'm going to ask for another favor down the road. That's where we're going with this. This is a very intriguing idea. And so if you just look at it, if you take a step back, you take off the blinders, this is the match. CM Punk, one of WWE's biggest stars. Roman Reigns, WWE's biggest stars, in my opinion. Okay, I still think he outranks Cody Rhodes. I think he outranks CM Punk. If you're looking at star power, if you're looking at box office, if you're looking at the fact that this is going to be a massive, massive event in Las Vegas, WrestleMania 41, you do that match. It's a no-brainer, right? Because when Punk first returned in November of 2023, everyone started automatically fantasy booking. Ooh, we could get Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk, and we can get Gunther versus CM Punk, and we can get CM Punk and Damian Priest, and CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, and CM Punk Seth Rollins, and he's starting to get through some of these matches. But WWE is very calculated. They go, okay, look, one, we have a special attraction, so we're going to use him as a special attraction. He's not going to go out there and do a bunch of TV matches. Also, he has a history of getting injured, right? He worked 3 matches in WWE and he got injured. We've seen his injury rate in AEW, so you got to be very careful with that. He's also an older guy, and you also don't want to get him overexposed as being an older guy, right? So you're going to be very, very choosy, if you will, very particular, very specific when you book CM Punk in matches. You're going to save it for big premium live events. You're going to save it for big-time opponents, right? The days of him working TVs and the days of him working weekly or monthly premium live events, they're over. There's no need for it, especially with there being, 5-6 matches per card. Save those. Make it special. I love the idea. I hope they go through with it. I really, really do.